A few months back I went on a run, as I promised my friend I would. A very simple task, a very simple quest to complete, but I ventured out there at around 5 PM in November, the cold wind blissfully kissing my skin with each and every stride I took. A little bit like I am now. I was only wearing a jumper, I had my shorts, as normal, and I went on a run. I did 5 laps of a pitch one way, and 5 laps another way. The finish line was just a bench, a lone bench on the side of the pitch. So after 5 laps, as a matter of fact, after 3 laps, I had a stitch. And it wasn't no stitch that was just on the side, it was a stitch that was in the centre, ripping my stomach away, ripping my legs away from the rest of my body. And it was a disgustingly horrible stitch. It's possibly the worst one I've ever had in my life. Yeah, I kept running. I kept pushing through. I didn't let the pain and frustration of the stitch stop me. I didn't take a break, I didn't slow down. I kept going at pace. And then I finished lap 10. Got to the bench, sat down, a little bit like I am now. I used my hands to feel my leg, and it was as cold as an icicle. It was as cold as an ice cream you eat in the summer. It was freezing cold, and it was as solid as concrete itself. I don't even know how I kept running. I sat down from this very simple task, and my legs were literally as stiff as a tree in the horizon. That's how bad that this scenario was. My ears were freezing, my nose was so cold, my entire face was probably blue. As a matter of fact, red, because more blood would have been going to it. That's how cold it was. And my dumbass didn't bring a coat, just a jumper. So I did the 10 laps with this jumper on. And then I tried to walk home. And on this walk home, let's just say it wasn't pleasant. I'd sat down for 5 minutes and I decided I need to go home. So I opened the gate to get out the park. And then the blood starts disappearing. My eyes, the vision goes furry. You know how you envision like a planet 5,000 million trillion miles away? And it's like really, really blurry and thin. Almost like you're squinting with water in your eyes. That's how all of the lights looked. My eyes felt as if they were open as possible. The street lights burnt my retinas. And worst of all, I couldn't hear anything. I'm not even joking. I was walking and it sounded like my head was bobbing, like in and out of water. Up and down, up and down. The cars were driving past and the noise felt like every step I took, the cars teleported up and then back down again. Really bad and really faint, almost like it was a mile in the distance like it is now. It's the maddest thing that ever happened to me. But I kept walking home. If I had just stopped, I don't know what would have happened. But then I tried to speak, and my voice sounded as weak as it ever did. It sounded so pathetically weak, it's really difficult to describe just how weak it sounded. It sounded horrible. It sounded like I was trying to speak through a mobile phone with 1G connection. To me at least. It sounded the worst my voice has ever sounded in this entire life. Yet I prevailed. I got home. My hearing was still crap, my eyesight was still crap, everything was still horrible. Cold, my legs were still stiff as bricks. Up in the shower, nothing changes. It's about 7 PM now, and finally I begin to regain a little bit of hearing. And then it vanishes. And you might be wondering, Teo, you're telling me this story, but what is the point of this story? Well, there's a few things I could point out. The first thing I will say is be a man of your word. If I wasn't a man of my word, I wouldn't have gone on the run. And if I wouldn't have gone on the run, then I wouldn't have learnt the next couple of things that I'm about to say. The second thing I realised on this run is nobody else is doing this. I'm beating everybody. There's not a single other soul in the park because it was beginning to get dark, a little bit like it is right now. I hope you can see me well. It's tragic if you can. You see how it's beginning to get dark now? This is sort of how it was, maybe a little bit darker than it is now. 10 minutes further on in the sunset in November. No one else was out there doing that. It was just me and my thoughts and my heavy feet consistently thudding against the floor. Painfully with each and every single step. Not just in my core, in my legs, in my ears, in my nose and everything else. It hurt everywhere. But I prevailed. I kept running regardless. I refused to quit and I refused to just give up and lose. And that's possibly the most important lesson. I didn't give up. I could have easily given up at lap 3. When my stomach hurt, no one else is there to watch, I could just lie and say, yeah, I did. But that honest truth meant so much more to me than proof like, yeah, I did this. And just speaking to people about it. I didn't tell anyone I did that run. I told my friend before I do the run, but I didn't say after, I just did the run, mate. Did it for you. Or none of this. I did the run. And then I very simply just went home. Just went home and tried my best to recover my ears, recover my eyes, recover my head, my legs, everything. Even right now as I'm recording this video, it's beginning to get a little bit nippy. It's beginning to hurt my arms a little bit. But I like that. The wind's blowing in from the east as it normally does in the UK, southeast. And it's hitting me. But I prevail. And the reason I prevail is because comfort is the sworn enemy of this. Comfort which you lot build each and every single day when you sit inside on your Xbox, when you sit there and drink alcohol, lay in until 10 p.m. in the evening because you have nothing better to do. When you're watching TikTok and scrolling reels all day long, comfort is what comes and takes control over your life. You see, in this run in November, comfort wasn't available until hours after the run. Many hours after the run. Just like comfort isn't available now because otherwise my setup's ruined. I'm using my coat to hold my phone up. So I have to sit here and record and do it. And I have to do it well, because otherwise I'll do it again. I'm not searching for comfort. And there's no point doing so. You lot have had comfort your entire lives. You lot have had comfort as kids, even early teens, even late teens, some of you and adults. Adulthood isn't comfortable, no matter how you try and do it. It's not comfortable when you have to go to work every single day when you don't feel like it. It's not comfortable when you have to show up at your job with a smile on your face, pretend you're happy even if you're completely miserable. It's not comfortable when you're 30, 40, 50, no kids still and your parents begin to go. And you're just left on your own now. You're the only one left in your family. That's not comfortable. It's not comfortable when you become older and you lose more and more of your friends from school, which you thought you would have forever. But it's not supposed to be comfortable. Life is never going to be comfortable. And if you get so accustomed to comfort, then you are going to struggle so much in your life going forward. That's the entire purpose of what I've just said. If you're not chasing comfort, then you're in the right. Whereas if you're sitting there, literally just searching for comfort, if I go and put my coat on right now and vlog it like a twat, maybe it'd be better for me, but it wouldn't be better for you, would it? It's not about what I want to do. It's not about what you want to have happen. It's about what works best and what can I do, what should I do, what do I get to do each and every single day. Comfort is something we almost need to reject. And I'm not saying that as in completely reject it, never be comfortable when you sleep at night or anything. What I'm saying is, when you have a task to do, get it done. And don't search for comfort, don't search for cop-out. Make sure you get it done at the greatest of your abilities. Comfort is only going to weaken you and the people around you. And if I hadn't gone on that run, and I hadn't been a man on that word, it would have weakened me internally, because I like to be a man on my word. It's a principle that I like to follow. Comfort is laying on the sofa and eating 5 pizzas for a lot of people. Stop searching for it. You really want to be remembered as a pizza muncher? You really want to be remembered as someone who wasn't crazy, audacious, awesome, ambitious, wild, in the wilderness himself? You're going to be remembered as a fat knacker. Because you can be remembered one of 2 ways, right? You can be remembered as awesome, or you are really skinny or fat. You can be remembered as in fantastic shape or skinny or fat. You can be remembered as extremely intellectual with no common sense, or he's quite clever even though his school results say otherwise. It's one of 2 ways. You get to choose that. And it all depends on whether you go out searching for comfort or not. I hope this video has made sense. I hope you've enjoyed the story. I'm doing my best to delve into deeper realms of storytelling, because I understand it's something that's actually more enjoyable than if I just sit there and say, yeah bro, and then if I have something to back it up, it's way better every single time. Not just for me editing, not just for me speaking, but also for you. So it's 100% worth it. And I don't want to keep you here in the dark and the cold any longer. So may God bless each and every single one of you. Stay strong out there, and we'll see you all tomorrow.